Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for clicking a new video on mine. It means a lot to you guys keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. And today we're talking about, what is it, episode 8 we're on right now? Oh my god, it's flying by. I'm curious, Bitter. I mean, obviously you had your thoughts on the live show. Was that
Yeah.
your least favorite episode of the season? Because you were a big advocate against that episode.
No, because I think we discussed it. Like the week before was a little bit more boring. This one was kind of
Okay,
funny
definitely.
and so bad it's good type of
Okay, so
way.
you see, because you specifically, because obviously you didn't like you for people who can't get the point here. He really did not like the episode. He wasn't emotionally moved at all in any way, and he actually actively found it funny when I guess the audience was supposed to feel emotions that were otherwise. So bitter. Can you explain that? I guess because it's been more time. You've had time to kind of like
Yeah.
refine your opinion. Can you kind of give us like that 2 minute take or something like that on that?
Yeah, so I find it funny, like that. First off, that Franny's gonna get her boyfriend voted out for winning. That's hilarious. And then you see Matt crying, which is also hilarious because this guy's got no personality besides I got dumped. Now I found somebody. Now I'm getting voted out, and I'm gonna cry about that. I don't know. I just don't think that's entertaining TV. He has no character. So like when you see like Russell cry on Redemption Island about to get voted out, you kind of understand his whole how he got there, right?
I
When
mean,
you
I
see
think
Matt cry, you're like, what?
you're using a bit of a straw man though, because you're taking the worst possible example and comparing it to one of the most emotional moments in Survivor with Russell. So I mean, I the point you're making works, but you don't have to reach for that low hanging fruit, like to compare Russell Hance getting voted out the only time in U.S. Survivor to Matt. I mean,
Well, I'm
there's
just saying, like any crying, I like to see a process of where this person got to where they're at.
right.
And Matt has been nothing. Like what? Okay, everyone keeps saying this season's great characters, but when I ask them who are the great characters, they say,
Jam
okay, the
Jam,
obvious one,
Carolyn,
Carolyn and Yam Yam, which I
Jam
agree,
Jam,
they're
Carolyn,
characters.
Danny.
Okay, but then when you start naming those ones, like even Danny, I'm like,
Danny
okay, what's their character? And
You
then
think
what?
Danny is not a good casting choice?
I want to say he's not a good casting choice, but he's not
So then,
like a
how is
top
he a
tier
bad?
casting choice.
Well, yes, he's not top tier because that's the point. When you have a tiers, they get separated. You can't have everyone on a top tier.
Spencer
In
explains tier lists.
yeah, right, right, yeah. No, I mean, I'm going to turn this argument backwards on you just for the sake of the fun of it. Who's on the top tier in 43 then?
On 43, okay, you got Gabler. You got okay.
Jesse and
Now I
Cody,
have to
just
remember everyone. Jesse and Cody, yes.
stop wasting time. It's Jesse and Cody and Gabler. You got it. Okay, great, awesome.
Okay, I'm
Right.
forgetting names now, but what's
That's
who's
someone
the
talking.
Sammy? Sammy was a great character until
So
he started
Sammy's
sucking.
on the top
And
tier.
I'll even give what's the hell her name? I don't remember these people's name. The big
Carla.
one, yeah, Carla.
Yeah, you got it. Like the
I
fact
don't
that
like Carla, but she
the,
was a big character.
you literally can't be serious, Bitter. You're
I'm
shitting
okay.
on
So
the 44 cast, and then Carla and Sammy are top tier characters.
not
What?
top tier.
That's
They're
what
just
you just
they're
said.
character. Okay, this no. Okay, let me
Come
try to
on now.
rephrase what
Come
I'm
on.
trying to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's not that they're top tier characters. It's their
Mhm.
characters with traits that I remember they have. It's
Okay,
not like
but
there's this character and then what do you know about them? It's like they're on Survivor.
that's great. But I asked you for the top tier characters of 44, and
Okay,
when I
top
and
tier
hold on,
characters. Okay,
hold on.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
When I said Danny, you said no, 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 no. And so I said, okay, great. Name your 43 ones. And then you said, rightfully so, Cody, Jesse, and Gabler, which is a bit of a stretch, but whatever. Fine. Okay. Those three are solid. In this season, if Yam Yam, Carolyn, and Danny are solid, you have more people on that second tier that I guess to me, I call it the A tier because the top tier for me is like the S tier, quote unquote. And I think on this season, you have a much better A tier. On 43, your A tier is people like Janine, people like Ellie, people like Dwight. It's just, I'm
Wait. Your
sorry.
BT. I think overall the
A
cast
tier.
of 43 is more characterized than this season. Like
What does
after
that
you
mean?
name Carolyn and Yam Yam, I'm like, I don't. All these characters blend together.
After you
Like
name
I know,
Jesse and Cody, all the characters blend
no,
together
no,
for me.
everyone knows like they're Owen. Okay, he's the whiny Asian guy who kind
I
of
mean,
soy, but he's also a little underdog. He's like Kane, but more interesting.
you're really gonna go to Owen here, the guy you roasted for being a horrible casting choice all season. Is that
I
really?
didn't say Owen was a horrible casting
Yes, you
choice
did.
all season.
What?
No, I did not.
Oh,
I said I liked Owen a bunch of times until he like did that little cookout thing.
you
Where
said you liked Owen all the time. Is what you're saying.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure there
I
was
mean,
lots of episodes where
you
I think
you
I said I liked Owen.
sometimes you just have to agree to disagree. I think that's what we're gonna have to do here. But I mean, I just think all your points you're making, if they're switched on your season that you like, work at just as good, if not better. So I just don't I just don't see the argument here, especially that for the third season is somehow like this much better season than 44, which is how you're making it seem as if it's like miles ahead, which is just not the
Okay,
case.
well this is so I think the people are getting confused when I say 43 is a better cast than 44. That's that's only in comparison to Modern Survivor. It's still terrible compared to old Survivor.
Wait, hold on. Okay, but we're not talking about any other two seasons except for these two seasons.
Yes, I'm just saying when I say 43 has a better cast than 44, I just think some people are
You
thinking
just mean
I think 43 is a
43 has
great
a better
cast.
cast than 44. That you mean
That's
the
all I
exact
mean.
words,
Yes,
right?
that's
Okay,
I'm
that's
just
fine.
saying some people are misconstruing that. I've seen. Not
Those
you
are
guys. I'm just saying
those are some other people. I don't know about them. I know about me. I know about the argument I'm making, which is that for me, when you take away your top three characters from each season, Carolyn, Jam Jam, and Cody and Jesse, again, at the end of the day, you can say that Cody's a better character than Carolyn. I think for me, Jesse and Jam Jam are about equal, with Jesse just
Oh my
playing
gosh.
with Jesse playing the game much better. But again, you're talking about characters and casting. I just don't see, aside from those top twos, you look at the rest of the 44 cast, especially the cast who made the merge, compared to the cast from 43 who made the merge. To me, it's just not there. The argument just it falls apart right there.
Go ahead, Sky.
Go ahead, Sky.
Like, bro, like, what are we arguing about, bro? Like, come on.
Well, we're literally arguing which season is a better.
I was gonna say we're arguing about the two seasons that we.
This argument's done because no one's gonna change anyone's opinion. So I don't.
So Sky, I don't know if you. Sky, I don't know if you know, like when you're on a podcast, you talk. And
this is his furry voice. He does.
Here, hold up. I'll say this. I think 43 cast is better than 44. You know, we have some good characters on this, like Carolyn. You know, Carson. Yeah, Yami. But we also have like Heidi.
Yeah, how about
Lauren,
that? Yeah,
Kane.
Right. Yeah.
Like, when I say
like
Carolyn and Yami are like better, like they're just characters. Not I don't like them as characters. I think they're kind of shitty, but
that's fine.
They at least have a personality.
Fine,
Jesse and Cody, I liked their personality. They were great characters.
Right. Okay. The point I'm making, you're talking about like who you like.
I'm
talking about,
huh?
Anyways,
I mean, saying which cast is better is subjective. It's not objective opinion. So
right. But the question of who you like more and which cast is objectively better. For example, do you like the Thailand cast?
Yeah, I love the Thailand cast.
Right. Okay. And obviously, we all know in our heart that the objective answer is that the Thailand cast is one of the worst, if not the worst cast of all time.
The objective opinion of Sheep is that it's a bad cast.
The opinion of Sheep, 99% of people are okay. All right, great. But
I mean,
if Thailand happened right now, if Thailand happened today, people would be like, "Whoa, this is the best season ever."
No one's talking about that better. Hold on, back up. So the point I'm making is that you may like the characters more, just like Thailand, but any person with any common sense sees the Thailand cast and is not very happy with that. So I implore you to maybe just differentiate your argument between.
It's weird that I had so many views.
Hold on. A cast. Oh my god, is that really going to be your argument?
I mean, there are
a lot of people seem to like the season.
There are
Thailand. People seem to like this season. You're kidding?
I mean, hey, there's some
back then. Thailand wasn't as hated as it is now.
There's some cool dudes on that cast.
Bitter. People seem to like the season. It's ranked last.
Yes, by modern weirdo Survivor fans.
Every measure of the word, it's ranked last.
It's ranked last by
Not
Survivor fans who say yes, Queen, when a woman wins. That's who rank it last.
You are changing the subject. It's ranked last by every rank of the word. It's last place.
What every rank of the word?
Not
What's
second.
that mean?
not second place last, not third place last, but the worst. And to me, that it shows that these are people you like, but it doesn't mean that the cast is objectively better. And I
I
think
didn't say
maybe
any
that's
cast was objectively better. It's all subjective. You
Yeah,
can't say a cast.
you're the one
No.
that said objectively, actually,
Right.
Spencer. You're the one that said the cast is objectively
Right.
bad.
How can you say a cast is objectively good?
I have clarified the argument for it to be an objective point. We are arguing for an objective point, not
You
our
can't.
opinion.
No, you have to argue
I
for
don't get
subjective
what-
about which cast you like better. That's a complete subjective
But
thought.
I didn't ask that question. I asked which cast is better, not which cast you like better.
How
Well,
are
I
you-
think
what's
that's
your-
still I think that's still a subjective question of
Yeah.
which cast is better. I don't think you can really,
Relative to this situation, it's an objective.
No, what are you measuring a cast of being
subjective-
good or not?
Go ahead, Bitter. Go ahead.
So like, okay, when you say something's objective, you have to be able to prove it. What's it like?
Right.
What are you using to measure how good a cast
Right.
is?
Again,
objectively?
I think you basically just hit it on the nail. The main difference here is that a subjective point is argued by you saying, "Oh, it's just better. Like I like it, but I just like them. Like, they're cool." Whereas an objective point is measured by, okay, is this character adding to the season here? What happened in this episode? Clear evidence, and I think that might be where you're being a bit confused on what we're arguing here.
No,
Oh,
okay,
no.
so that's an actual like. Okay, you're saying which cast has the most people who add to the season?
Correct.
Then that's a different category of what we're
Right. Again,
asking.
we finally got here. Again, you're
You've
finally
never
here.
said that though.
I don't know.
I said which cast is better, not which
Yeah, but
cast.
you didn't say the measurement. You said which cast has the most tallest people. We can figure that out.
What? No one's.
That would be
talking about
objective.
Which cast has the tallest people? What are you
But
talking
we would
about?
be able to objectively figure that out because we could see their heights.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
Oh, that is true.
the exact point that I'm making. We're not arguing over that because you can't argue that point. The best season is an arguable point, but you're still arguing for the objective. The subjective, again, is when you're arguing about what you like more, what's your feelings about it. But when you involve logic, the argument becomes more
Yeah,
objective.
but how do you logically say a character is good?
Not good, better.
Okay,
kind of
how do you
the
say it's
same
better?
thing.
You
What
say
makes Sammy a better or worse character than Matt Blankenship?
Wait, don't you think that same? Well, Bitter. I didn't say that. You're just making up.
I'm
stuff.
asking. I'm just giving you you picked the two people. I'm just giving you an example.
Sure. Okay. So in this case, if you're asking me to make an argument based off logic, then I would use confessional count, and I would also use basic common sense here. We all know that Sammy is a better character than Matt. That's not a feeling. That's an objective reality.
No, there's plenty of people who would say
I don't
Matt's
know.
better. I would disagree, but that's
Right,
all subjective.
There's a lot of people who think the Earth's flat, but that they're wrong too. Just
Well,
because
But that's something that
hold
can be
on,
actually measured to be
hold on.
proven wrong.
Hold on. Just because a bunch of people say something doesn't make that thing wrong or right. What makes it wrong or right is the objective reality, and I think
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm
the
agreeing
objective
with you.
reality is that the
Exactly.
Earth is round. So
Yeah, so you can't
Right,
argue that.
exactly. You're making the point exactly here.
But so you're saying your measurement for a good
What
character
you're
is a
saying.
confession count?
I just love like frustrating you guys. It's 2-on-1.
No,
No,
this is
no,
good. This is a
dude.
good way to
No, so wait,
It
when you
is,
said
it
there
is.
was, I use
It's a
confessional
good-
counts. I use
it's a
this. Like,
good-
there's no way you
it's
have
a
all
good-
the information
it's a
stored in
good-
your little brain, bro.
it's a-
Like, I
hold
didn't.
It's a good warm up, to get into the podcast here. We have 10 people to rank, guys. 10 people. We go from worst to best, unlike some other Survivor podcasts like our Happen the Specialist. Ugh, gross. We go from worst to best, from players who are getting voted out to winners to GOATs to players who have the best shot at Final Tribal Council. And we'll start with our 10 here. At 10, I'm going to keep my same 10 from last week, or my same last place from last week, and that's Brandon. It's just, to me, again, Brandon, getting back into the argument of objective versus subjective. There's no opinion here. Brandon is in trouble. That is a true fact, and we've seen words that have said that. And I think that Brandon is going to have a really tough time dodging these bullets. He can do it for an episode more. I don't think he can do it for 3 or 5. And of course, he's going to have to make it a lot farther along than he already has, at least 5 episodes. And some people are saying that there might be a final 2 for this season. If that's the case, there's no way. So yeah, definitely. Brandon, to me, is just, he's in such a horrible spot objectively And it
And
leaves
that's
him
what I was
with.
gonna say objectively for the entire podcast, bro.
That's right. Just to rub in that W. But yeah, no.
What's no
Like
W? It's like
hold
the
on, hold
Vietnam
on,
War.
guys,
Everyone
hold on.
lost.
Shh, shh, shh.
Well, Spencer, if
My
you're
turn.
wrong about objective, it's
Sky,
gonna make you
hold
look
on,
really
hold
bad.
on,
I
guys,
didn't even
guys,
say
guys, guys. Calm down, guys. Calm
Telling
down.
Sky to stop. It was me talking.
Calm down, guys. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. But again, Brandon to me is objectively in big trouble. And he better find some more allies. I feel like that's his best chance is to play the meat shield strategy and just hopefully try and win out from a certain point, which is not going to happen. So of course he's going to go home.
Only other meat shield is Danny. That's it.
Right, and of course they're both on the chopping block coming up, so that's going to be a serious issue for them. Do you guys also have Brandon at 10, or you guys have different picks?
I have Brandon at 10.
Brandon at 10.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Sky.
Objectively, Brandon is black, so he cannot be at the bottom.
Yes,
of the
there you go, Sky. You got it right. He's objectively his skin color.
I think he's Asian.
You're right. There you go, Bitter. That is exactly what you were arguing, Bitter, is objective versus subjective. Go ahead, Sky.
I still have Jamie at the bottom because I don't like her, and because she's a bad player. Also, like I thought Brandon had.
You don't like her. That sounds very subjective.
Look. I think y'all are kind of hating on Brandon a little bit. I thought, right, like when he got back, he had everyone like under his control, because he had his tribe with him. So like everyone was like, Ratu strong, like what I'm saying. He didn't have to worry at all. He was fine. He had immunity, but like you know what I mean.
I think we all think that the control is not the problem. He definitely has allies. He has Carson and Kane that we know of. Probably the rest of his tribe, like Lauren as well. And that's already 5 people out there. That's great. But Danny also has more control than him, and we still think Danny. I don't think any of us have Danny in our top 2. Spoiler.
Danny and him are friends.
Right, that's the point I'm making. If Danny is booted down the list for all of us, then Brandon is definitely booted down because Danny's edit's better.
Okay, well, who's black and who's white?
And there comes
that's an objective
classic Skylander argument. Go ahead, Bitter.
Well, I mean that is an objective fact.
Go ahead, Bitter. Go ahead.
All right, so I got Brandon at 10. I wanted to point out that he was immune the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Well, no,
yeah, you're right.
Was he? Oh yeah, he was the last one too.
So I feel like that's a big reason why he hasn't been talked about as being voted out, because I feel like he would be if he hasn't been immune these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that there's been 13 people immune the past 2 weeks. Like in Old School Survivor, guess how many people would be immune through 2 episodes in the post-merge? Guess.
Dose?
Yeah, exactly. And now it's 13. Yeah, just a small jump,
So that's why, he's at 10 because as soon as he's not immune, I could see him going.
Objectively, I don't think you like black people that much, so that's what I'm saying.
No comment.
Friendly fire for me, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, so my 9, right?
Yeah.
I might go. I'm gonna go 9 and 8. 9's Lauren again, not much of an edit there. And then 8 is Heidi again, not much of an edit there. The one point I want to make here is the reason that they're both next to each other, and the reason they're both at the bottom here, below the likes of people who have been at the bottom in the past few weeks, is because they're both opposing Franny at this point. And I just have a hunch that Franny is going to get this quote unquote revenge arc of some sort. No, I love the chances.
Matthew?
I love the chances of her getting a revenge arc here, especially with how much the show built up this Matt blindside, clearly trying to make the audience feel bad for Matt in some way.
Blindside?
Clearly trying to make the audience feel bad for
I mean,
Matt.
he started crying before he got voted out. I don't think it was a blindside.
Right. Okay, then we'll
objectively, the tears came out this guy's face. Like
right. See, there, you got it right there. You got it right. But to me, with how much they're building up Franny, as even if it's just for one episode or revenge arc, that's still one episode where someone's going to go home. And if someone is going home to her revenge arc, if she gets her way, the person's going to go home. It's going to be Heidi or Lauren, and Lauren's in, I guess, a tougher spot because she seemed to kind of stick out as the leader of that vote against both of Jam and Matt. Especially because Lauren got her vote taken, so they can always say that, oh well, she would have voted for Matt if she didn't get her vote taken. So I find it really hard for Lauren to navigate now, especially because her edit's horrible. Same with Heidi. They both have bad edits, but Heidi, again, she's the one who changed the vote. She did change it to Jam, but she's still part of this, just because now she makes an enemy, and well, definitely Jam Jam and probably also Carolyn. So both made a lot of enemies here. And if Lauren can't get one of her allies to get blindsided instead of her, she might be the one going, and she also has the worst edit. So that's my 9 and 8. 9 and 8 Sky.
My 9 is Brandon.
Okay, fair enough.
So I get it. He's been immune for basically the entire. Actually, he has been immune for the entire post merge. I still think he has a little bit of leverage, but I mean, obviously not too much. And then my 8 is Lauren, because like who is that? Who's
Lauren? Who? Yeah, no. I mean, she's irrelevant. I feel like it's a nice way to say it. A goat. Purpled is probably the more
irrelevant. That's probably
Minority.
the worst way to say it.
Yeah, I mean, a goat purpled is more, I think, specific and realistic. Bitter, who do you have at 9 and 8?
All right, 9, I have Danny because he's attached to Brandon.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
that is pretty low. Okay,
we saw Danny being targeted this week. And
no,
he got
definitely,
saved.
definitely. I mean, I can't say that I'm just like, what? That doesn't make no sense. But like at the same time, Danny is one of if not the most connected person in the entire game. So it is tough. I mean, that is a giant blindside if it's tonight, or not tonight, but on Wednesday. So I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean,
I just think people see
possibility.
him as a big target. I think people see him as a threat because, like, if he is good with everybody, everyone's going to notice that, right? He also, I mean, he still does have an idol, so that's a plus. But will he know when to use it? We'll see.
Yeah, that's the more questionable part, I suppose. Is Danny going to use his idol correctly, and will he leverage it in the right way? Because a lot of times using it correctly is one thing, but knowing when to threaten it, knowing when to reveal it to certain people, and knowing when to just keep it to yourself and pull a Ben bomb and just play it at the last second. It's tough to navigate, but you know, if I had faith in anyone, it's Danny. So for that reason, Danny's a bit higher here on my list.
But does everyone know now that he does have the idol, since Matt confirmed that his idol was fake and he assumed it was Matt that had? I mean, Danny who had the real idol.
It's going to be like a James. Was it Jam who had like the weird aura around him, or no, Josh? Like Josh, where people are like, does he have it? Does he not? We don't know. Like it's tough, and I do think that people are going to assume it, but at the end of the day, as long as there's no confirmation there, a bag of tricks is just a bag of tricks. Hopefully he goes that route. If he is accused, I think that's the best way to do it, is just threaten it every single tribal and make them split votes, and then you can flip one person and flip an entire vote. So
I mean, yeah. I think the case is probably going to be they split the votes on Brandon and Danny or something like that.
But see, this is where like Danny's connections come in hand, because I guarantee you, one, they're probably never going to have the numbers to split on Danny and Brandon between both groups. And then on top of that, even if they do, Danny's connections will serve him a lot better, I guess, in that case, to make sure that the split doesn't go fully on him.
Who's his main connection? I would say Heidi, but
I would say like Heidi, really anyone from that the Soka tribe, even Franny here. I don't
know Franny. She knows that
really don't think
she's the one that tricked Matt.
Yeah, but I don't think Franny's good, like, is focused on anyone but the people who got out Matt. So that would be people like Lauren, like Jamie, like Brandon, not necessarily Danny. And then on top of that, I think he definitely has allies one with Brandon, which is big.
But Brandon's like the least connected person.
Right. Again, just let me finish. Okay. So he has his entire tribe, Brandon. That's already an alliance of 6. And again, this, even if he loses his numbers, he has those people's bonds, and I think that could keep him from being the person who the split vote lands on. I think his biggest opposition in the game is Carolyn and Jam Jam, but obviously it's a big opposition to having. Like, no one wants to be Carolyn's enemy here, especially watching it back, seeing her edit. So it's a tough road for Danny, but I don't think that Danny is supposed to be down at 8 and 9, but whatever.
All right. And then at 8 I have Kane, just because I see him as a floater number for the rest of the way, who's no one's going to respect, and he's not going to win.
Yeah. I have Kane next. I mean, you said it yourself. He hasn't gotten any, like, he's gotten an edit. He's not as purpled as Lauren and Heidi are, but he hasn't gotten the story told from his perspective at all. And winners get the story told from their perspective. That's it. It's pretty simple here. So it leaves him in a really tough spot here. Hopefully he can recover game wise, but when you have a bad edit pre-merge, it's hard to recover from that. Bad in the ways that, of course, I'm meaning that are like non-winner edit traits. It's really hard to all of a sudden create a winner's edit out of nothing. Usually winners edits build up over time. So we'll just have to see. Number 7, right? So Kane,
you, yeah.
and then for Sky, it's who?
My number 7.
Correct.
Heidi.
Yep. I mean, we've kind of ranked on Heidi enough here. Bitter still has her to go.
What the hell's that picture, Sky?
Oh,
wait,
this one?
Let me see.
No, the
Let
other
me
one with the
change-
peanut butter.
Oh, bro, what the hell? You changed your picture to? What the? Bruh. No way. You're not real, Sky. You're actually
That guy looks like he won a peanut butter reward on Survivor.
That's crazy, bro. That's when like fucking Carla gets into the fucking peanut butter jar. That's crazy, bro. Anyways, yeah. So let's
So my
let's
7?
go to your 7, Sky, right?
I just number 7 was Heidi.
Oh, Heidi. Yeah. Go ahead, Bitter.
All right, so my 7's Lauren, just because every time I go to make a list, I forget who Lauren is. Yeah.
Did you like forget her so much that she was able to rise up on this list higher than she should have been, or did you actually put her?
I put her higher just because I don't see her being like leaving. And
I mean, I definitely see her like having a shot to leave, but then again, you're not buying into a Franny revenge at all, like in any sense.
I mean, I'm just buying that Brandon and Danny are probably gonna, like, Danny seemed like the biggest one who wanted Lauren out, right?
But Brandon could be a symptom of that Franny revenge arc because he's on that road to side.
Yeah. Okay.
Really?
So say we get a mixture of that, right?
Hold on. Before you talk, I'm saying like really when I say like when I say Franny revenge arc, I really mean, it's more like it's solidified the game. Soka versus Ratu, whatever the hell. Basically the green tribe versus the orange tribe here, and Franny is going to be the person that's the most passionate about it. I don't mean that Franny's going to single-handedly get the whole tribe to go on Lauren or go on, like Jamie, whatever. I definitely am pointing more towards more of a Soka versus Ratu game.
Okay.
So
Black
So
versus
for me,
white.
it's like I don't understand how you couldn't buy into that.
Well, no, I buy into those two being like at each other, those two groups, because obviously I think the purple tribe is gonna like destroy all these guys.
Purple
So they
tribe is
obviously-
in a fantastic spot. In a fantastic spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So, but I could see so okay. So they say Brandon's the first target, right? They go
Right.
after in the revenge thing. Okay, so then Brandon goes, but then I see Danny wanting to defend Brandon, right? He's not gonna want him to go. That could then put Danny on the chopping block just because he wants to keep Brandon around.
fair enough. I just think at the end of the day, Lauren being one of the people and the person who got the kind of the brunt of the edit of the person who kind of drove this boot, it wasn't really Brandon who was shown as the person driving it. It felt more like Lauren and Jamie, but Lauren obviously has gotten a bigger edit, or not a bigger edit, but more of a presence in the last episode. And it's I don't know. It doesn't feel good for Lauren at all. It really doesn't.
I just think that's a factor of her being the one that lost her vote, who got her vote stolen, and Brandon being immune, where Brandon didn't seem that big of a factor.
Yeah.
Right. It definitely Brandon being immune helped him because they couldn't really show him being desperate at all. But I don't know, with Lauren being like Matt's original target and then Matt going home, it feels like Lauren kind of won that battle. But maybe that's just the way that I see it. We can go to our 6 right now. 6?
No, you're 6,
6.
yeah.
6. At 6, I have Massa. I've kind of given my spiel on him. Bitter had him at what, 9, right? You had him at 9, Bitter?
Yep.
And then I have him at 6. We'll see where Sky has him. I have no idea. I kind of given the spiel, but I'll give the short version. Again, he's in the same boat as Brandon. He's just on the different side. He's on the more powerful side, and that's why Brandon's at 10 and he's at 6. He has much more power in the game than Brandon does, and I do think he's a slightly less threat in the game physically. So we'll just have to see. Number 6, Guy.
Yeah, I got that ginger-headed freak Kane at number
Ginger-headed
6.
freak goes hard, bro. It goes hard.
Yeah, I had it at
Cochran's
number
on this
6.
season?
Cochran's on this season.
I swear,
goes
whenever
hard.
they pan to his face at Tribal Council, he's always making like the goofiest looking face of all time. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just his face. I'm not sure, but like,
just his face goes hard.
We just like I'm starting to be like, who's Kane? Because like who
Really?
is Kane? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
we haven't got anything since the I got a sword.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like I feel like we're expecting that hero edit to come, and it's not coming. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he's really doing here? I mean, he's supposed to be like quirky and like fun, but he just comes across as like boring, like a genuinely boring person. And I think if they like he could have a really fun edit where he's a genuinely like a fun person to watch, and instead I feel like they're just not showing him for whatever reason. It's probably not because he's not going to be a huge factor in the game. Maybe he's a boot next round. He's a boot at 9, 8, or 7. But just I can't see Kane making a finale here in good faith with his edit. It's just so horrendous. So we'll just have to see.
Well, if there is like a revenge where the like Brandon, Lauren go, then it would be like what we predicted, where Kane would be the last from
right.
Ratu.
And it would work too because Kane is like the one kind of getting like the little small hero edit. So it would then give, I guess, the viewer the assumption that now the oranges are going to go back at the green because like their nice guy got taken out too, quote unquote.
And he wasn't part of that vote, so
right. So then it's like, oh, he was innocent, blah blah. And now we like swing back and forth, which is like, again, I think this is fantastic. Like as far as how a season needs to go for it to be good, I've always been an advocate that there has to be two big groups coming in. You see it obviously with the twists like Heroes vs Villains and David vs Goliath, but really even seasons like Kagyan that had 3 tribes, but again, going into the merge, you had 2 big groups because it just leads to much simpler strategy, and therefore it comes down to like mob mentality, which again is fun to watch. 1 and 2 can lead to flippers and things like that. Now, of course, you don't want 2 groups that are just going to pagong each other. Like think South Pacific, right, where you have a great merge episode and everything else just fizzles out after that.
sometimes it's good.
But at the end of the day, that merge episode is peak Survivor for a reason, because at the end of the day, you have those 2 groups. It's exactly what Survivor needs. And so hopefully it can be Soka versus Ratu. And if that's the case, then I will kind of understand why production sees this season as having some sort of greater potential. So we'll just
See, I'm starting to think that Survivor just like this season because of whoever the winner is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it's Carolyn, it'll make perfect sense. If it's Franny, it'll make sense. If it's Jam, it'll make sense. I can't see anybody else here.
I really don't think it's Franny.
Again, I just like production loves those
Sky's new avatar is hearing your Franny thoughts.
What the hell, yo?
Hold on.
I'm like not on the tab of the stream right now, so I did not see that at all.
I found a funny picture.
This guy's gonna get me banned off YouTube. Oh no!
No, just keep going.
Guy, you're gonna get me banned. I have to kick you out of my life. Sorry.
So who's 6? Who are we at?
Yeah, so 6 for me, right, is Massa, right? And then Sky, so has to do his 6. He's so focused on what the hell. All right. That's a remove from the entire universe.
Wasn't that the one guy on Coco last year?
Yeah. I'll add you back in when you change your picture, Sky. Bitter. Oh, no. Yeah, Bitter, you do your 6.
Okay, my 6 is, speaking of Franny, is Franny.
Okay,
even if she has this thing where she gets this revenge arc where she's leading it, she's getting the confessionals, she takes out Brandon, Lauren. She hasn't been shown to be like a leader in terms of taking control of a strategy vote or anything so far. She's just been in the background with Matt, so I don't really see her story.
Well, I think that's like the danger of this, like what this story can be is that it could be Franny was in the background and then her boyfriend got voted out and now it's her arc, and it's like that seems so simple that it really could be, and Survivor loves that really Survivor and Big Brother love that arc of like,
I feel like they would have set that up a little bit better than they did.
I feel like they've really Bitter, maybe you haven't gotten it because you don't care like about like any of these characters, but as someone who at least gets what they're trying to do, and it to some extent like feels it, I guess. They definitely tried to build up like last week's boot as like this sucks, like why, like where you're actually legitimately angry about it. And I think that's why I feel personally that Franny is going to succeed, I guess, in the game, or at least have some sort of revenge arc to a certain extent. She may go out next, but whatever.
To me, she's still like, I got the like feeling that she's just a person who's gonna be like, as soon as Matt goes, she's gonna be like trying to please everyone. Like she's still ready to play with anybody. Like she's a free agent type player.
But I think maybe we kind of agree but disagree. I think she may do that. That's part of the new era. You can't have enemies like ever. But I think she will have true feelings of revenge and like I'm mad or whatever, because it's her whatever, I guess her boyfriend, quote unquote.
Isn't it weird? You feel more emotion from like the San Juan del Sur like revenge when they were just like barely friends, and these two are supposed to be like boyfriend girlfriend.
Well, yeah, but I feel like again you're comparing apples to oranges here with
No, I'm comparing it with
39
something that's better,
39
something
days.
that's worse.
Well, no, but you said it yourself. 39 days. You can't even compare it. It's a whole different game. That's you say it all.
Yeah, true. Maybe that's why this is a really lame showman. Is that it's like they've been together for like 13 days.
That could be that definitely could be part of it. I cannot argue against that for sure. All right, let's go to our 6 for you, Sky. You've been too busy doing all types of shenanigans.
That wasn't that bad of a profile picture, but whatever.
Anyways, numbers.
Number 6.
Yep.
I already said Kane. Kane.
Okay. Well, then we're gonna go to number 5. Number 5.
Yeah. Remember,
Jamie.
said that ginger-headed freak.
Jamie,
yeah,
it's your number 10, Sky. I have Jamie.
Number 5.
I see what everyone says. Obviously, she's clearly like not a good player. She's clearly annoying as hell. But at the end of the day, her spot in the game and her edit have been perfectly fine as far as being considered for someone who's going to go far in the game, whether it's as a GOAT or as a winner. Her spot in the game and her edit are I think to me the 2 most important things for a player as far as like how far they're going to go. Their actual skill itself, I think, is minimal. So it's just she has a great spot where she has a lot of allies, not nearly as many as she thinks she does, and she's not playing them as well as she could be. But she does, just from a pure numbers standpoint, have a lot of friends, and that's always good. Of course, too, she's a woman in the post-merge is always going to help. She's not going to get targeted for being a threat. So I really think that the only way she goes is if her bad gameplay is that bad that it actually sends her home. So we'll see.
Wait, who's gone so far, gender-wise, since the merge?
Since the merge, it's been Josh and then Matt. Right?
Wow, that's weird. How the two men in a row at the merge. Whoa,
like it's a pattern. Yeah. So I mean, we'll stay tuned, but I definitely think that the men are in trouble here. And I mean, of course, I have my bottom 4 is half men and half women, and with how bad the female players are on this season, it shows you. So we'll see. We got
that Sky.
Huh?
Sky is geeking out. Right
You're looking at your folder of pictures.
Yeah, Sky.
I can't put this as my profile picture because
Sky is in his bag right now.
I'll just send it in the
number 5. Yes, send it in the group chat. Number 5 for you, Sky.
That's pretty good.
My number 5 is Massa.
Sorry, we're looking for viewers. Again, we're being horrible podcast hosts. Sky sent a picture of a guy who looks like a Duracell battery. He looks like a Duracell battery. It's very, very interesting. Okay, back to Survivor. 5 is who? Sky?
Danny Massa.
Danny Massa. Explain how he's got up this far for you.
Oh, did y'all rank him? Oh, y'all ranked him low, right?
9 and 6, respectively.
Well, he's gotten a good edit, and that's about it. Other people haven't gotten as good of edits.
That's why you come here, guys.
That is insightful. Wow.
Well, okay, no. Okay, so
hear
me out. Right. If I think I think he's in trouble because obviously big strong male, whatever, right? But if they're gonna vote a big strong male, first it's gonna be Brandon, right? So he has that like kind of I think cushion at least. They would probably vote out Brandon over him. Also, he has an idol, so it's like. That gives him something, and he's got family ties. He's got like a lot of people that like him. I think so.
His family's there.
Family ties.
Yeah, and the only big question is if his opposes Franny or not in this like little. Whoa, okay, what happened?
You just noticed. Yeah. What can I say? I caught you lacking there.
Oh, I didn't see that.
My guy. What do you guys think of Danny's chances? If the Green Tribe starts to win out and they can actually get down to where it's him and Franny and Heidi, and maybe the Tikas, do you guys feel like the Tikas would try and work with him, or is it just going to be 5-1 Danny out?
In my mind, Danny out. It's just hard in my mind since Danny had that like mess up at that 3-person little thing with Carolyn and Brandon.
Summit,
He's been not a winner in my mind since then. So
agreed.
He can only be ranked so high now.
Yeah, agree. I mean, when you're at enemies with Carolyn until Carolyn goes home, or at least until
if Carolyn went home, then the whole game would be flipped. on its head.
Right. But like until at least like final 8 or 7, when it starts to be like, okay, Carolyn could get blindsided here, and it wouldn't be a shock. Like until we get there, like these next few rounds, you can't be enemies with Carolyn.
You can't be an opposite.
It's just
You know
because
what I mean?
there was 2 outcomes, right? There was the one where Carolyn gets these 2 guys out, or these 2 guys somehow create this like bro alliance that works. And in Modern Survivor, we know the bro alliance isn't going to work.
Right.
Mhm.
It isn't going to work at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sky's going crazy with these pictures, but yeah. So we'll just have to see. We have number 4 for me.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
Wait,
have
did I
Jim.
say my
I
5?
said number
Yes.
5.
You said 5, right?
Yeah, who did I say?
You said. Oh, say it again. Say it again.
I didn't think I said it. So
Okay.
I have Jamie at 5.
Okay. Cool.
Because I agree with you in that she's, I think, had like one of the more consistent edits where she constantly gets something, even though
So
like she's not really
consistently
doing anything.
bad.
Yeah, but it's weird because like usually winners get kind of confessionals when like even when they're not in part of the strategy, they somehow still get like a throwaway confessional to keep them relevant. She kind of
Right.
gets that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think her biggest problem is her gameplay, just her pure just as a player. But I think her position in the game, her edit, is going to save her here for a few rounds. So
Yeah, I
we'll
mean,
see-
she's done nothing in terms of gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally see her being like a final 3 person, just because her personality, her edit is really really big.
But I could
compared
see
to
her getting somehow pulling out of Erica, where I was a sheep
I
in
don't.
wolf's
I
clothing.
think she has a chance. I don't see it though. Like it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. She has a better chance of winning than Lauren and Heidi do. Maybe also Kane. But aside from that, she's a bottom middle of the tier as far as like winning chances go.
Yeah,
You can definitely put people. And again, I'm talking about like if all these people were at the end, people like Brandon, people like Carolyn, people like Franny, Carson, Jam. I mean, there's a lot of people that Mamasa, at the end against her that will beat her. She would have to go with people like Kane and Heidi and Lauren to really have a chance.
Mhm.
yeah,
Or
I
even,
agree.
but then again, it's like, guys, I feel like well, I'll save that for when I get to my number 1 actually, because that's that person. So we will just have to see. Number 4 for you, right, Sky?
No, it's 4 for you. Who was yours for?
Wait, me?
Spencer? Yeah.
Oh, me. I have 4. Jam. Jam is my 4. Again, he has really his starring thing is his edit. We've seen the game from his perspective, not even really Carolyn's perspective, but really we've seen the gameplay from his perspective. To start out this post merge. The worst part is his position. He's in a bad spot. So in the same way that Jamie's a bad player and her edit is like Jam's edit has been great and his position is horrible. So it's the opposite there. And that's kind of why Jamie and Jam kind of fall in the same realm here. I think the difference is, again, Jam is a good player. And I think especially compared to this cast, again, in this new era, you're not getting the best players in the world. So Jam compared to this cast is playing light years ahead. Obviously, I think there's a few people playing on his level, but aside from that, there's a lot of people not playing anywhere near his level of a social and a strategical game. So we'll see.
Okay.
Number 4 for you, Sky.
Franny, I'm not gonna let this little. Oh my god, my boyfriend just got voted out. She's not even gonna date him in real life. Calling it right here, right now, bro. It's not happening. Okay. And then Matthew's gonna be like sad for like a long time, and Franny's like not gonna care at all. I think that they're gonna kind of hype this up, and then she's gonna be like, "Well, I don't want to go against my alliance because Danny's part of the kind of branded alliance." Okay, so yeah, well,
What
you know what? You're black.
And I
joke's on
had
you.
and I had
so-
Spencer is my father before that, and I don't think you guys noticed.
I saw it.
Okay,
yeah.
good. Love you,
I thought
guys.
Sky put that
I
there.
could have said something so incredibly racist.
But you know what?
Don't say you could have said it. That's-
you would have lost your YouTube channel. You suck. You lose. I'm gonna let Sky simmer on that one for a little bit while we get through our
Duracell looking ass.
Duracell looking ass. Yeah. Okay. Did Sky say his? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Bitter. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
he said. Who did he say? Shit.
Somebody. All right.
So my 4 is Heidi. I don't know. She keeps getting that kind of like just like that older woman role who is going to be in the final 3 type of edit. I don't know how else to
Okay.
explain it.
Okay. Yeah. See, I think that's more of Jamie's spot. But I don't see where you're getting Heidi at the end. Heidi
Well,
just to me seems like a nobody, whereas
she's
Jamie feels like the perfect person to have at the end because she's so bad at the game, but she still has a great character.
yeah. So Heidi's kind of I think more under the radar, better player than Jamie. So I think she'll last longer that way.
I don't.
S-
But yeah, like being third place, she has to be bad. She has to be a bad
oh,
player.
I don't know if she'll get third place. I just think she
Oh,
has a
you
good
just
chance to
said
get
she has
into the
the
final.
vibes of that.
Well, I have her high up because I think she has a chance of winning.
You think she has a chance of? Oh, you think Heidi has a chance to win the game?
I think she's one
She
of the
was equal.
few. Yeah.
She's at least as of before last episode. She was equal to Lauren in confessionals, and she probably still is, to be honest, because they both got confessionals.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
surprising to me because I feel
No,
like
yeah. She but before last week they were both like had a like I was something really really small, like a very small number, the exact same number, and I'm sure after this past episode that they're probably still really even. So with an edit like that, I don't see how she makes the end or gets close or even tries to win. No, I just don't.
I mean, I
I
guess
don't
I
really
kind
see
of
it.
agree. I do think she put a well. That's why I think that whole twist was stupid because of being able to dictate the vote. Just put a big target on her back for
Oh
like
yeah,
no real
oh yeah.
gain for her.
Yeah, I mean, I think the twist in itself really sets her up for failure. Best case scenario, she changes one vote. Okay, great. Now you're in horrible trouble. And it's not like you had a stake in it. So now it's like the target's on you, and you didn't even like really make a move in the game. You just controlled the vote with a free advantage that you found digging in the ground. Like it's not really as impressive as someone stealing a vote and then making it an enemy that way, I
Yeah,
guess.
the best way with that advantage is to be someone who doesn't find it but has control of the person using it. So
Right.
you're
Right.
just like in the background.
Right.
But
Yeah. I mean that,
Bum, bum, bum.
in general, that's just like the best way to do Survivor is just to control the game
yeah.
through somebody else, right?
I will say the one thing though that I do think Heidi does have is I think she's the most connected person on the season so far. She
Really
seems like
think
I
Heidi's the
think
most
she has a good
I
relationship
think
with everybody.
Jamie or Carson are the two most connected people.
But we've seen, I mean, maybe Carson, but we have seen people say they don't like Jamie. We saw when she switched
That's fine.
tribes during that swap, they all did not like her.
Did we see it
So,
though? I don't
yeah,
know.
they
If,
said
I
that.
feel like we're kind of assuming that. No,
Well, didn't they all say they were just going to vote her out? But they just never had the chance.
I don't remember that, to be honest.
I'm
I
pretty
feel
sure it
like
happened. But
they kind of want to make that more of a big deal at the merge if it was going to happen soon.
oh no, see, this is the thing. So like they would have voted her out like before merge, but after merge, she's not a threat, so there's no really reason to go for her.
Okay.
So I just don't think she's I don't think people like her. I think people trust Heidi.
Okay.
From what this is visual stuff from what I see. Like
again, it's her edit that really gets me. She's tied for the least amount of confessionals. That's really bad.
yeah, I know
really
that is surprising to me. That does make me think a little less.
You know,
of where
I
she's
can
gonna
go check it out right now, actually, just to see to make sure that I have the right one. If not, then she's second to most.
But I will say she's close to Danny from what we've seen on TV. Maybe that's changed since the earlier game, and she's also who else was she close to? Lauren, right? She was talking to Lauren a lot, and I feel like they both have more heat than Heidi does. So I think she'll survive at least past those guys in terms of targets.
I'm looking at it right now. Okay, we got total confessionals. The top people are Carolyn 36 and Yam Yam 39. And also Matt got 8 last episode, so he got up to 30. Then the next kind of tier we're looking at is your Brandons, your Carsons, your Jamies, and the two bottom after last episode is Lauren and Heidi tied for 12. And they have 1.71.
Imagine having less confessionals than Matt, bro.
That is well. I mean, they have less. Kane, what the hell? Kane has 14, and that's just because the first episode he
I'm kind of surprised by that.
Well, in the first episode he got 6 confessionals. Lauren in the first episode got 7 confessionals, and she has 12. Whereas in Heidi in the first episode only got 3, and she has 12. It just shows you how bad Lauren's is.
Count the confessionals? Like I'm kind of confused.
If you're shown, they like
okay, but like listen,
hold on, Sky. Well, hold on. Usually you're like sitting in a different position for each one, so I think that might be how.
Okay, but
because usually you'll cut back to it or whatever, but that's
exactly they'll cut back to
Yeah.
it. But like, what if it's like 20 minutes later in the episode, but you're still in the same
That's
still same
counts
area?
as 2.
That's 2, right?
Yeah.
But
Once
you're
a
in the
scene
same
ends,
place.
that's the end of a confessional.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think those technicalities are that big of a deal as far as like
I'm just
what.
asking. Like, I
Right.
was just like generally
No,
confused about like the.
Well,
I
it
get
kind of does because you could technically have like 7 confessionals, but if you count it all the same time that they sat
then
down,
you
that could
have
all
what, like
be
5
one
instead? Like,
confessional.
no, no, no.
I think it's every
I don't
time
think they
it's
would.
cut. There's a cut.
I don't think they would allow that. I
Yeah, that's
don't know.
why I
It's
think it's
just
just like as simple as if there's a cut, that's end a confessional.
I don't think it's that because we've seen cuts to confessionals gone 5 times, and the person didn't have 5 confessionals after that episode.
Oh, so yeah, so like say they're having a confession
It's
and they're talking
definitely
about
like
something
there's
and they show it.
definitely like a middle ground here between what I'm saying and what you're saying.
Yeah,
But I think overall it just shows like Lauren and Heidi are both, they have horrible edits.
Did Carolyn's confessional at the beginning of the season count as one of hers?
Yes, definitely. Well, of course, obviously, yeah.
Like the very first one they showed, like the.
Yes.
I don't know how to do a confessional, even though I've been trained how to do this because I'm kind of an idiot.
Yeah, she's like, what do I do again? Like, I know that you guys pick me specifically because I'm good at this, but like, what do I do? Like, bro.
Yeah, the producers have had 2 confessionals so far.
Facts.
Where they talk in the confessional.
Facts. Okay, let's go through these last few pretty quickly.
So we're at 3.
We're at 3 for me. Carson. I mean, I've had Carson at number 1 for the past few weeks. But of course, Carson's biggest problem is that, well, I mean, he's like, we don't really see much.
He's a whitey.
Like his, it's not that his edit's bad. It's not that his gameplay's bad. But at the end of the day, he's not Carolyn. And I obviously think that Franny is, has this revenge arc going. So I have Franny above him. For me, I just feel like Carson, he's great. He's awesome. He's just not Carolyn. And that's the situation.
No, we really haven't gotten much from either since the merge.
No. It's funny because we have he's been getting consistently like 4 or 5 confessionals per episode. The issue with that is like it is just nothing special about it. It's more just that we're seeing the game from him and Jam Jam's perspective. But Jam Jam, I feel like we've gotten more connected to as a character.
Yeah, he's on the hot seat.
Right. Carson, not really as much, but maybe that's a good thing because the person who gets the most confessionals doesn't always win. So we'll just have to see. We have number 3 for you, Sky.
So here we go. The reason I have Franny right, I don't know, I'm top 3. I have Yam Yam here because like really the reason why Yam Yam got in trouble last episode wasn't really his fault. Like he just got put in probably the worst combination of people that he probably could have.
I think you're making excuses for you, Jam Jam. He's clearly in a bad spot in the game. And
how is he in a bad spot in the game? That the only people that wanted to get him out
in a bad spot in the game. He's been targeting he's been targeted the past two episodes.
Dude, he's been targeted because this episode he was targeted because that tribe swap was like really, really bad. Like, do you not think that was like a bad combination for him?
Sky, he's been targeted
like
both rounds.
I'm agreeing with Sky because you got to think he got put in a bigger. No, just look, think because the merge, right? He was one of the few options after the merge, and then this week he's also one of the few options. He was put in that small minority of numbers.
At the end of the day, there's only been 2 votes in the post merge, and he's been the main target.
I know, but that's because he's been on both.
I think there's also a middle ground here. He's not in a great spot. He's not in a great spot, but he's also
he isn't at all. He's not in a good spot.
He's also been screwed a little bit to be
in
a worse spot.
It doesn't matter how he's gotten here. He's here. He's in a bad spot, and his name is coming up.
I don't think he's going to be in a bad spot next episode, if I'm being honest. Since
I'm
I'm hoping there's actually like they don't split them up. I know isn't that crazy if they might not split them up for the next
real vote at the merge.
Vote? What? Because I think in that case
is really, really sad that the first like merge vote is at 11. Like when you merge at 13, that's horrible.
In that case, I don't think there's really anyone who wants to get him out when there's 9 different options. If there's 10 people, one person's immune, right? I don't think anyone's gonna really want to get him out. He has Carolyn, he has Carson. I think that like other than that, like he doesn't have too many other options. Like what was it, Matthew? He had a good bonds with, but then that means he probably won't have Franny's wrath or whatever that happens in the next couple of episodes happen to him. Yeah. So I think he's in a good spot going forward.
Fair enough. Bitter.
My 3 is also Carson. Yeah, he's been shown a lot. Like we said it already, he's been shown, but he's not been necessarily moving things right now. He's in a good spot. He's in that purple 3, which I think is going far. Nothing else really to say about him.
Yeah, agreed. Top 2. All right, top 2 for me. I'm not crazy. I'm not putting Franny at 1, but I have Carolyn at 1 and Franny at 2. I've talked ad nauseum about Franny and her revenge arc and what I think is going. So I'll talk about Carolyn. Again, Carolyn, best edit in the game, best edit probably in the new era to this point in any season. Really, there's that's enough to put her first every single time. But then on top of that, she isn't playing the game horribly right now. She's in a better spot in the game than Jam Jam is, despite being a worse player than Jam Jam is. And on top of that, her main ally in Jam Jam is the best player in the game, probably objectively. So I do feel like she has good people on her team. And on top of that, she's in the swing tribe position. So I mean, it's just like it's all good for Carolyn here, and she's not being targeted.
You have Franny at 2.
Yeah.
I want someone to cut up all the time. Spencer's mentioned Franny Revenge Arc. If Franny gets voted out this week, it'd be so funny.
And if she doesn't, then where's the montage going to go?
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
Oh, that's right. Exactly.
Well, she gets
All
voted
right,
out the next
Scott.
week, then you can still use it.
Scott,
Yeah. Mhm.
Your top 2?
My top 2. At 2, I got Carson, and 1, I got Carolyn. I just want to say, I put Carolyn at 1 before any of y'all. Okay, so I'm the one that started this. Okay, because I think Spencer has Carson at 1 his past couple weeks, but now he's finally seeing the light. Like you just,
I think
you kind of have to put her at
Danny,
1.
I had Danny at 1 for a few weeks, and I had Carson the past few weeks, and now I'm finally just like, yeah, it has to be Carolyn because it's not Carson, and there's nobody else. It's really Carson, Carolyn, and Jam Jam right now. Again, that Tika 3 have the most winners equity at this point, and out of those 3, the best edit is clearly Carolyn. Clearly.
Go back and check the tape. I'm pretty sure I'm the first one to say Carolyn.
I don't know about that, but we'll just have to see. Scott, better go ahead.
All right, so my 1 and 2 was 2 is Yam Yam, and then 1 is Carolyn. I don't know. Yam Yam has that edit where it's like he's like he's not shown as like he's working for Carolyn. He's like beside Carolyn. So it's not like I wouldn't be surprised if he could win, but since he's in a really bad spot, that's why I have him lower because he could go just for the fact that he's been targeted a lot. And Carolyn is just this crazy edit where even when she says stupid shit, it's still portrayed as like, wow, this person is really good at Survivor.
Yeah,
which makes me think she's going far
or
money.
like when she's like socially disconnected, it's shown as everyone else is doing something wrong and she's doing the right thing. It's
yeah, when in reality it's a terrible social game.
Right. It's funny. It reminds me of people who are entitled and they're like, oh well, no, everyone else needs to change the way they live because I'm uncomfortable or I'm mad or I'm offended. And it's like, no, you need to change. You need to improve, not every other person on earth. So I mean, it's actually very similar with her edit, where we're shown, and again, this is to her credit. Obviously, her edit's very good. That everything kind of revolves around her. In a very literal sense, and that when things don't go well, it's everyone else's fault and not hers, which is great for her edit. Absolutely great for her edit.
Yeah, Carolyn's the kind of person who thinks she's the main character of a story, like her whole life.
No.
I'm the most important.
See, I was particular about not blaming Carolyn for her own edit.
Oh, I'm blaming her.
Well, I mean,
she's saying the things that are being on the edit.
I get it, but again, to me, this is all edit. They could have easily flipped all of these situations and said, wow, Carolyn is just an outcast. Nobody likes Carolyn. She's playing the game socially horribly. Like, instead, they're showing her edit to be, well, everyone else is being so mean to Carolyn. Everyone else just doesn't get it, which is not obviously clearly like it's much deeper than that. But we're again, at the end of the day, the final product, the final show is what matters. And what we're seeing is Carolyn not playing the game well, but just like everyone else doesn't understand her, which is great for her edit.
See, I'm saying like the part where she tells everyone about the fake idol that Josh has. She just thinks that everyone should believe her automatically. That's a main character syndrome where you think everyone should just automatically accept your point of view.
Well, I think to an extent, I think anyone would be frustrated with people not believing them when they tell something that happened on their pre-merge tribe. A smart
person would know why they wouldn't believe
You didn't say that she was smart dumb. You said, what was it, main character syndrome you think she has?
Even a self-aware person would realize that everyone else has their own thoughts, and why would they just initially believe her?
Right, but I don't think that comes down to some sort of ego of hers. I feel like that is her emotional thinking.
Okay, well, it's either that or I'll just blame the drugs.
The drugs goes hard. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I definitely see what you mean. I think we all can agree, even if we don't have Carolyn at the top of the list. But I think we all do. No.
I do.
Yeah. It'd be interesting though. Like, okay, so I'd be surprised. Say she does lose because she has a terrible social game, and okay, so then people would I would like to see like the people who like all bag on Russell for having a terrible social game, but being good at strategy and saying he deserved to lose. What they would say about Carolyn?
Well, I don't.
Carolyn's just more likable.
Is that
is she?
part of why people thought like
Which is
people
not calling
like
people
always
dumbasses on the island. So.
right. Part of
Not
it is
yet.
that a bad social game can take many forms, but Russell's is the easiest to ridicule. One, because obviously you watch it and you're kind of supposed to hate him, but then more importantly, Russell's, it's very easy to see because he's being mean to people, but being disconnected and being left out is just as bad for your social game as being in control but being an asshole. So both are bad, and I do agree, Bitter, that people should treat her game the same. Although I think her biggest pitfalls, if she would lose, would just be not learning fire, because I really do think like she is probably good, like gonna get to fire, and if she loses, it's probably
Jesse type shit.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
personally. I think people are going to not see her as a threat this whole
Right,
time.
exactly,
She's just
exactly.
crazy,
And
and I
then
don't even think she'll be put in fire because people think she's not a threat.
And then I see. I agree up until 4. I think at 4 they're gonna realize, wait, hold on. Carolyn's a great story, blah blah blah, this and that, and they're gonna put her in fire. And at that point, it's going to be do or die for Carolyn. Win the game, win fire.
I think a lot of people got to remember, like, they're not seeing what we're seeing. So
Totally.
I think if you're out there, I don't think Carolyn's shown to have done anything.
Again, which is why I think she'll have no problem getting to the end, whereas in Jam will probably go around 6, 7, 5, whatever. But the issue is at 4, like half the people get put in fire. So, I mean, she's a 50-50 shot at that point. And if she ends up there and she loses, that will be her flaw, really. I really don't think that if she loses in fire, it'll be because she didn't have enough friends. It's going to be because they turn around, they're like, okay, let's say it's James, no, not James. Let's say it's people like James, people like Lauren, people like Heidi. If there's anyone like that they're going to point to Carolyn and be like, wait, no, like she's a little bit of a threat, like just maybe a slight bit. And while the audience is yelling, she's a giant threat, she's going to win the game. So I feel like if she's at 4 and she's put in fire and she loses, that's on her, and that's her flaw. I agree though that her social game is flawed, just not like game ending flawed.
Yeah, to me, honestly, she's like a poor man's Russell Hantz.
I just don't.
Because like, can you imagine Russell being like explaining that like the idol was fake, guys, and then he'd be in a confessional. They didn't believe me, these morons. That's exactly like what she did.
I don't see it because Russell's biggest issue is he played the game way too logically. He had no emotion, and Carolyn is the exact opposite. She plays the game with way too much emotion.
I don't think Carolyn plays with emotion. She's emotional.
You really don't.
I think she still does
that Carolyn plays with emotion. Really,
I think it's a little bit of a difference between playing with emotion and constantly being emotional. Right?
Okay.
She says things based off emotion, but like her actual like strategy is what she thinks is actually logical to do.
You're getting in the weeds here. At the end of the day, I think she's playing the game emotionally. Period. End of story. That's it. But I mean, we'll just maybe agree, disagree, and also time will tell how her game ends up. What's going on over there in the Skyliner universe?
I should have a video. Oh, also look, what are these glasses that Kane's wearing? Anyway, I should have a video that's premiering tomorrow.
All right then.
So there's that.
Guys, wait, is it on Sky?
It's on Sky.
Okay, okay, awesome, guys. If you're watching this on Sunday, go check out the video. If you're watching it on any other day, then it should be up already, right?
I'll be out tomorrow. So
awesome,
premiering too. So
it'll be out on Monday, the 17th of April. Bitter, anything going on? Any possible videos?
No.
What do you think? Nope. There's no videos.
I mean, possible. Fine. I'll say there's a chance, but it's possible. But
Bitter's like the the boyfriend that always there's a chance. No, there's a chance. I'm coming back, and then he just never makes a video, and he breaks my heart.
I should be like the boyfriend, like, man, just start crying when you ask me that question.
He's like the dad of the typical certain type of people's household, and he's like
certain type of people. This is crazy.
I'm coming back. Don't worry. Come back.
I'm gonna get some milk.
It's crazy, bro. Going to get some milk is crazy. All right, guys. None of this happens without you guys. Without you guys, we're all just weird guys speaking to weird microphones, and Sky will just be a lonely guy switching his little profile picture in a StreamYard alone. Thank you guys for that so much. That's I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.